Welcome to a beautiful African folk tale from the heart of Nigeria, a country rich in history, culture, and timeless stories. This is a tale that has been passed down through generations, a story that teaches us about love, wisdom, simplicity, and the peace we all seek in life. Sit back, relax, and listen to the tale of Ituen and the Queen. Picture this: a vibrant village surrounded by lush green hills, the air thick with the scent of fresh earth and the hum of life. The sun smiles down on the people, the chickens are clucking, and the children are playing barefoot on the dusty path. But don't be fooled. This village is home to a tale unlike any other, a tale of love, wisdom, and a king who didn't quite know what he had until it slipped away. There was once a king, a mighty one, strong, fair, and loved by his people. But when it came to his queen, he felt helpless. You see, his wife, the beautiful and regal queen, was no longer happy. She had everything a woman could ask for: the finest robes, jewels that sparkled like the stars at night, and servants at her every beck and call. But in her heart there was emptiness, like a drum with no rhythm. The king tried everything, but nothing could lift her spirit. His love, his gift, his words, none of them could touch the ache deep inside her. Now, this queen wasn't just any woman. She was a woman of grace, but also of fire. She had tasted the riches of life, but had come to realize that some piece of her soul was missing, and she couldn't figure out what. She spent her days looking out of the palace windows, watching the world go by, as though she were searching for something she could never find. One day, the queen decided she needed to get away from the luxury of the palace. She needed to breathe the air of the village, feel the earth under her feet, and see the world beyond the walls of royal life. So, she put on a simple gown, left behind the crown, and slipped quietly into the village. It was there, by the river, where she met him. Ituen, a man as simple as a morning sunrise, but with eyes that shone with the wisdom of the earth itself. He was a fisherman, not much to look at if you asked anyone, but there was something about him, something that made the river itself stop and listen when he spoke. His hands were rough from years of working with the fish, but his heart was soft like the first rains after a long dry season. The queen, curious, walked toward him. She stood there for a moment, watching him cast his net, feeling something stir inside her that she hadn't felt in years. "Who are you?" she asked, her voice softer than she intended. "What is it about you that makes the air so calm?" Ituen looked up at her, a smile playing on his lips. "I am Ituen, Your Majesty. Just a man who lives with the rhythm of the river. No titles, no crown, just the water and the sky." The queen smiled, but there was sadness in her eyes. "How do you find peace in such simplicity?" "My life is filled with everything, but I feel like I have nothing." Ituen chuckled, his voice deep and comforting like the earth itself. "Peace, my lady, is not in the things you own, but in the things you give away. It's not about the gold or the palace. It's about being in tune with the world, listening to the whispers of the trees, and dancing with the wind." The queen stood there, watching him, feeling a strange sense of calm she hadn't felt in ages. But the calm didn't last long. She knew deep down she had responsibilities: a king, a throne, the weight of an entire kingdom. But every time she closed her eyes, she saw Ituen, his smile, his quiet strength, and the way he made her feel like the world wasn't such a complicated place after all. Back at the palace, the king noticed the change in his wife. She was distant, lost in her thoughts, like someone who had seen something they couldn't forget. He was no fool. He saw the way she looked at him, and he knew that the sparkle in her eyes was no longer meant for him. "Tell me, my queen," he said one evening, his voice soft. What is it that troubles you? She looked at him, and for the first time in years, she saw him clearly. He was a good man, a wise man, a man who loved her dearly. But she couldn't deny it. Her heart had wandered, and it had found something, or rather, someone it could not let go of. My king, she said softly, you have given me everything, and yet I find myself yearning for something that no wealth or title can offer. My heart seeks peace, not in the palace, but in simplicity. I have found it in a place where gold does not shine, where the river speaks and the earth listens. The king stood silent for a moment, understanding more than she thought. He loved her, yes, but he also loved her freedom. And if that meant letting her go, then so be it. If your heart belongs to the river, then I will not keep you from it, he said with a sigh. Go, my queen, go to where your spirit feels at rest. But know this, my love will follow you wherever you choose to go. And so, the queen left the palace. She returned to the river, to the man who had taught her what true peace meant. Ituen didn't need a crown to see her for who she truly was. With him, she found the rhythm of life once more, like a song sung by the earth itself. But the queen wasn't foolish. She knew the balance of life. She still had her duties, still had her place as the king's wife. But now, when the weight of the world pressed on her shoulders, she would slip away to the river, to Ituen, and find the peace she had been searching for all along. And as for Ituen, he had no need for riches, no need for titles. He had everything he needed right there in the quiet moment by the river. Life, after all, is not about what you have, but about the peace you carry in your heart. And so, the story of Ituen and the queen lived on, passed down like a sweet melody from one generation to the next. A story of love, freedom, and the wisdom that sometimes the richest things in life can't be seen with the eyes, but felt deep in the soul. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story and want to hear more folk tales from around Africa, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and to follow us for more stories that will inspire, teach, and entertain you. Hit the like button and share this video with your friends. Let's keep the tradition of African storytelling alive.